Ross is here, everybody. Ross Stevenson is the GM at Cap Maison. How are you, Ross?
I'm very good, thanks, Steve.
I think it would be nice to get some history.
Sure.
A lot of people on Facebook are curious about the Cap history. I've seen many people commenting and asking questions, so I thought, who better than to get Ross out? We're out behind the original house, actually. Isn't this the original?
It is indeed, yeah. The house has been here since 1990. The home of a Bulldog family.
So since 1990?
1990, yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about that history. So this house was here. They first bought the land, right?
Yeah, correct.
And then the house didn't exist.
It goes back further than that. They came into the island in 1976. Mother and father, Helen and Theo, loved the island and eventually settled in the south of the island where they had three sons, Ollie, Rufus and Adam. So a long history on the island. And then came up north and saw this plot of land up in Cap Estate and bought the land in 1988 and built the house in 1990.
So the thing that a lot of people, I think, don't realize about St Lucia is there are two very distinct parts of the island.
Correct.
Why did they choose this part, which is kind of the beach side?
I think they saw the progression of, from the business perspective, the progression of business moving to the north of the island. And a lot of their friends were living in the north of the island as well. And the area we're in at the moment, Cap Estate, was developing quite rapidly back in the 1990s, early 2000s.
So they build this house.
Yep.
And with thoughts of it just being a family vacation home.
Correct, and they had it as a family. Well, they lived here winter. They got rid of that winter blues from Europe, so spent a lot of the winters out here. Had many friends in St Lucia. They had many friends coming to stay in Salmon House, the house just behind us. So in many ways, Cap Maison was an extension of that feeling of hospitality. And in 2005, they looked at what they were going to do with the rest of the land associated with the plot that the house was on, and came up with the idea of creating Cap Maison, sort of very small individual boutique hotel. And essentially that was a legacy for the sons, for Ollie, Rufus and Adam, to have as a business and to develop as a business and eventually develop other hotels of a similar feel within the region, the Caribbean.
Well, they just placed it perfectly for the views. Talk about the views from this porch. These views are breathtaking.
Exactly, and they knew exactly what they were buying when they bought the piece of land up in Cap Estate. They got the premier view of Cap Estate, looking onto Pigeon Island, sunsets just directly in front of me as we sit here today. Beautiful sunsets and a wide expanse of sea view, Caribbean sea view.
When was the eureka moment when the family was sitting around and thought, wow, let's get to work and build this property, and then talk about the vision of what it would look like as we know it today?
I think the eureka moment followed half a bottle of gin and a bottle of Burgundy, as many good decisions do. And I think it culminated in many experiences that they had. You know, they had different hotels in St Lucia, they had hotels in Mexico. And as you look around the architecture of Cap Maison, you'll see elements of, North Africa, Caribbean, Mexico, Spain. And it's
what about Greece? Almost
a little bit. The nice,
Mediterranean.
Correct. The nice thing is you walk around, you see different things, you see different touch points, and it has that sort of non-cookie cutter feel to it, very individual in style. And as you turn around each corner, something grabs your attention.
Who designed the different layouts of the villas? Some have pools on the roof, some have pools on the bottom. A lot of different.
Sure, the main architect was a guy called Lane Pettigrew. He's done work throughout the Caribbean and also in other parts of the southern parts of the United States. And it's a real combination of ideas through Lane and through the family that put together this nice eclectic mix.
It's really unique, and some of the items and the people that have been here since day one.
Correct.
Which I think a lot of visitors come about and all of a sudden become part of the Cap Maison family. As weird as that sounds, it's a reality.
Yeah. And the reality was, before we opened the hotel, we did this mass hire. We rented this big hall down in Grosley, and we put an advert in the paper describing what type of person we're looking for and what the product was going to be. And during that one day, we had 1,200 people coming through for interviews for 75 positions.
1,200
people.
Wow. And your chef, has Craig the chef been here since the very beginning?
He is my white Welsh Rastafarian bodybuilder.
Yes.
Craig, yes, he has.
Now, does he drive a race car? I believe
he has a Subaru souped up boys racing car, yes.
Where does he race that thing on the island?
Sometimes in his mind. Other times there's little gets-togethers down at the old airport runway. So they have drag competitions out there.
Does he drive as well as he cooks?
He does indeed.
So maybe he could pick up an island Uber position.
Maybe.
Part-time.
Although I'm not sure how fast he would go when it's an Uber car though.
How do you designate, or how would you label his cooking? It is truly spectacular and award-winning often.
Well, you've got to look at his history. As a young man, he grew up through Michelin-style restaurants, through Relais Chateau. So he's had that classic French background in terms of cooking. What he does with that, he takes the beautiful produce of St Lucia and creates that Caribbean twist to it. Very fresh, very organic, but very creative as well.
So he hits the markets on the weekends, right?
Yes, he does, and he will take guests down there on a Saturday morning to see the vibrancy of the market in Castries.
So you can go basically right along with him?
Sure, and the market is, for me, is fantastic. Full of life, full of colour, full of smells, everything you find in terms of local produce. All run by women, all the stalls run by women. But equally, his little producers will come into the hotel on a daily basis with little pickup trucks and show them what they've got, and he'll purchase directly from them as well.
Well, thank you for the time, Ross. This is truly a spectacular vacation that we hope a lot of people will get to experience, and you've been very kind to give away stays over the last couple of months, and everyone on Facebook is keeping an eye out for the next one, which I do believe is coming very soon, so thank you.
Thank you very much, and what I want to say also is thanks for everyone that's come to stay with us at Cap Maison. We're really appreciative of you taking the time to make that journey to come and stay with us, and tell your friends and family about us. That's all we could hope for and all we wish for. Thank you.